Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tatted Tatter Crochet and Tatting Podcast. This is episode 23. I just looked it up because I couldn't remember. My name is Stephanie, and I'm coming to you from my home in Southern California. This is a podcast all about crochet and knitting and supposedly tatting and all that other yarny kind of good stuff. And so today I have a couple of things to show you that I have finished, some things that I'm working on, and some things that I bought, and a special edition because my baby shower was last Saturday, and so I have a couple things to show you that other people have made for me and for the baby. So let's get right into it, shall we? First, I do want to say congratulations again to all the people who won the mystery yarn box giveaway. It was very satisfying to be able to send beautiful yarn all over the US and Canada. So that's about as far as we went. But it felt good to get it out to you so that it is no longer in the house. So I have a little bit more room to now put all the things that we got from the baby shower, but also to see how appreciative everybody was. All the US people should have their boxes by now. My two Canadians, you may still have to wait a couple days just because it takes a while apparently for things to get from here to there. But yeah, they're all out and it worked out well. Although I did really forget how much it costs to ship things now. I don't know, the cost just keeps going up, but it was well worth it. And I actually, one of the winners was gracious enough to send me a beautiful pattern, and another asked about registry stuff, and so sent us something from our baby registry, which I did not expect and I greatly appreciate. So thank you all very much. And yeah, it was very helpful to me and hopefully also to you. So yeah, so we'll get started with finished objects. The first one is what I'm wearing right now. I showed you this as I was working on it. This is, oh goodness, my hair is, I'm calling it Cables and Lacy Leaves, but the pattern is called the Cozy Winter. Oh, with the light behind it, you can see where I wove my ends in there. But it is a shawl pattern with cables and lace, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It blocked beautifully, and it got so much bigger, which was really nice. It was very fun to make. The yarn is Sisa by Marisol Yarns in the color Leaf. It's listed as a bulky, but it's more like a worsted, and it's a wool alpaca blend. So this was my first attempt at cables and at lace. So I did it through a class at my local yarn shop, Make One in Laverne, California. And I messed up several times and they helped me fix it. But I got the hang of it and finished it relatively quickly once I was able to actually concentrate on it. If I worked on it when I was tired, that was when I messed up. But it worked out really well, and it has this whole garter section here. I did have to shorten it. I went up a needle size based off of my gauge swatch that I did, and I ended up having to cut off 4 rows of the final repeat, which is fine as long as you end on the right place. And then it has an I-cord bind off, which is gorgeous, by the way, but uses significantly more yarn than I thought it was going to. So I ran out. So there's this little blue section from the same yarn, just a different color, that I had left from a baby sweater that I made. So, but this part, usually when I wear it, it gets tucked underneath so you can't see it anyway, but it's a design element. I meant to do that. Yeah, so it's absolutely gorgeous. this is more true to color. If I get it too close, it kind of blows out a little bit, but it's a nice dark green. It has some kind of mustard threads running through it. And it's just gorgeous and I love it. And even though it is probably too hot to be wearing it right now, I'm gonna wear it anyway. You can't stop me. Also, I spilled spaghetti sauce on my shirt when I ate lunch today, so now you can't see it. So yeah, it's beautiful and gorgeous and I love it. Cables were a lot easier than I thought they were gonna be, so that was really nice. It was actually the lace that was a little complicated because keeping track of when you're yarning over and slip knitting and all that kind of stuff was the harder part. So, say happy knit. She has joined us on her perch. Yeah, so that's finished object number 1. And then I also finished some smaller things. I think I told you about this when I got the yarn, but I wanted to make father-son matching hats for my husband and my soon-to-be son. And so I had bought this Lion Brand jeans yarn, and my husband picked out the colors since it was a hat for him, basically. And it's really soft. It's relatively new from Lion Brand. It's not like new, but new enough. And it's 100% acrylic, but the way that it's done, it's really soft. And so it comes in these. And these are jeans colors, I guess, is a specific type. The label. And the colors I have are corduroy. Which when I think of corduroy, I think of like beige. None of these are beige. Stovepipe and vintage. I think the corduroy is the purpley color. I have no idea now that I think about it. And I had started, I wanted to use a pattern from Rebecca Langford of Yarn and Chai Design, and it was the Highland men's hat, and that this is the yarn that she uses and everything. And so I started doing it, and I started doing the baby or kid size. Doesn't have a baby size, and it's worked really tight at the crown so that it looks like a slouchy hat kind of, and it uses yarn under double and single crochet, and I just didn't like the way that it was working up. It was too tight. The slouchy part was a little strange. So I went to my trusty slouchy hats book, which is one of the first things I ever bought when I first started crocheting. This hat here is one of the first things I ever made. And it has a men's hat in here that is multiple colors. So I used that for the actual beanie part, and then I used the brim from Rebecca's pattern for the brim. So I still have to weave the ends in, but I'm counting these as finished objects. So this is the adult hat I made in medium for my hubby. Yeah, and this is stovepipe, I know for sure. And then I think this is corduroy and this is vintage. Honestly, I have no idea. But it does a really cool V-stitch, which is different than V-stitches I'm used to. This uses a single crochet, chain one, double crochet, instead of a double crochet, chain one, double crochet. So it makes this really nice texture. And then for the ribbing, for the brim of the hat, I used Rebecca's pattern, which I really appreciate because you don't have to do it separately and then sew it on. You crochet it directly onto the hat, which is really nice. And I think helps make it so that it's actually tight enough. This actually is a little tight on my husband, but it'll stretch out because it's acrylic. So yeah, so that's Dad's hat. And then I made a little teeny tiny one, and I just guessed because there's only adult sizes in this book. It has kids hats, but obviously not this particular hat. This was an adult hat. So I just increased a lot less and did fewer rows. I made a little teeny tiny baby hat. This will probably only last for a little while, depending on how big this kid's head is. And I'll have to make a bigger one, but I got plenty of yarn. So this is the two hats together. I think they're very cute. and it'll be a great photo op. So yeah, so more about the hat. This is Celebrity Slouchy Beanies. It's a leisure arts book. I've seen it still at Michael's, maybe even Joann's. And all of these patterns are by Lisa Gentry. You can see her name there. Leisure Arts. Celebrity Slouchy Beanies. Book 2. And this pattern wasn't on Ravelry. Some of the patterns from the book are, but this particular one was not. So I just wrote it in there. But yeah. That's that. So then that's it for finished objects. Need water. Yes, Peanut? So a couple of works in progress. I haven't really worked much on anything that you've seen because I started some new stuff. So once I finished this, I started another knitted shawl that I had been wanting to make to learn another new knitting technique, because what I'm trying to do is, each new knitting project is to learn a new technique so I can just improve my knitting since I'm new to it. So I showed you this pattern last time, I think. It's been 3 weeks, so I can't remember what I did yesterday, much less what happened 3 weeks ago. But the pattern is called The Thinking Eye, from Knitting Vortex. Her name is Jennifer Dessau, and it's an Intarsia knitting project. And the yarn is yarn that I got at the LA Yarn Crawl, which I realized I didn't actually show you all. Did I? No, never mind. I did. I didn't take an Instagram picture of them. That was what I didn't do, but I did show you all. So you've seen these, and I probably already told you what I intend to do with it. And this is where I am so far. So I did just get into the Intarsia part where these two colors here meet. So I haven't done too much on it yet. It requires a lot of thinking, because it has an I-cord edge and everything. So I haven't worked on it too much because I've needed a lot of non-thinking projects. And I'm doing these on 7s because I can't find my 6s, so 7s it is. But yeah, that's where it is so far. It has a lot of ends, as you can see, which I'm sure will be the bane of my existence. I might have to start weaving them in as I go along. But the yarn is a part of a mini set from Peekaboo Yarns. She's local to me, a local dyer. And there are 6 colors. So these are the 4 that are not currently attached to the project. So you can see the different speckling, and then of course mustard, and then the plain white. And then I have the dark gray and the black currently attached to the project. So that's what we're working with. And I think it's going pretty great. Like I said, I haven't really had too much time to work on it because I haven't had the brain power. I've mostly been doing it when I go to the knitting nights, and I had a conference. Sorry, my leg's falling asleep. A couple, not this last week, but the week before that, I was at a conference for 3 days that also required a lot of thinking, so I couldn't really work on anything while we were there. I did some of the hat stuff while we were at the conference, but otherwise there was not much work getting done. And so I also was working on a giant bag. I got a couple more rows done on my Cosmic Cal. Whee! So this is a crochet blanket. It's kind of a mandala style, and I think, because I told you guys I was gonna start working on this, so because I would like to finish it before baby shows up. We'll see. And I think I was about like these blue baubles the last time I showed it to you, so I've gotten a decent number of rows done, and am at the point where we're trying to turn this shape into a rectangle. So we're slowly putting more stitches on these sides here. So yeah, I'm trying in the morning to like get a row or two done on that. Ooh, sorry. You're shaking. Oh, at the part where your foot falls asleep and it starts to come back and it feels like you're being stabbed by a bunch of tiny needles. Oh, good times. Don't sit on your foot. But in the mornings, I'm trying to, like when I'm sitting and drinking my tea and waking up, working on this because I have to watch the video tutorials to go with it. And it just seems to be easier to do in the mornings. The yarn is Stylecraft Cotton DK Classique. This was a cal that was started, I think, last year. And I just didn't, I worked on it and then I didn't work on it. And that was a kit that I got from Daramore's, which is a UK yarn thing, store. Yeah, and I bought it online. And obviously the cal is long over, but people are still working on them and making them, and you see them in the Facebook group. So I would love to get that done before baby shows up. And I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's complicated, which is why I have to watch the tutorial video, but it's great and I love it. And I tried reading the pattern from the beginning and it was just so much easier to just watch the tutorial video. So I've been doing that and really like it. Yeah, hopefully we'll get it done before baby gets here. Because otherwise it's gonna go back in the whip pile that I'm not touching for a while because it's just way too much brain power. So yeah, so then there are a couple of other whips that I've had that I just haven't worked on too much. And the other day, I think was it yesterday? I just really wanted to work on something and nothing that I currently have was making me want to work on it. Like it wasn't sparking any joy to Marie Kondo, my whips. So I started a new one. And I pulled out this bag, which you all haven't seen in a while, from Huckabee. She had a baby, I think it was last year, and so I don't know that she's really doing much on her Etsy site, but I love her bags. So I started something, you've probably seen the yarn. It's a cake, a self-stripe, like color changing cake that I got as part of one of the yarn clubs from the Yarn Over truck. And the pattern, so this particular club came with the yarn and a pattern to go with it. So I'm doing the pattern that came with it because I really liked it. So this is where it is so far. It's a very lacy shawl, a very simple two row repeat. But of course it takes forever because I'm using a 2.5 millimeter hook to do it because it's so thin. So the yarn, let me pull out the band. The yarn is from Apple Tree Knits, who's out of New Jersey. And this is her Silklin base, which is 65% silk, 35% linen. And this is 756 yards to 113 grams. So it's definitely a lace weight. And the theme for this particular month was Sex and the City, which I did not watch and do not watch and probably will not watch, but I love the colors. So this is the Sex and the City gradient for that club. And the pattern that was designed specifically for this club with this yarn is called Kyla. It's by Julie Blagojevic of Crochet Works. And so this is the finished one. So I'm like, here, I'm getting kind of almost to the yellow, so it goes white, yellow, pink, purple. And each color is supposed to represent one of the characters from Sex and the City. Again, I have no idea, but sure, why not? But I just love the colors, and it's so perfect and lacy, and it'll be great for summer because it's starting to warm up. And yeah, so here's all the other pictures. Look at how pretty that is. I think it's gorgeous, darling. So I'm about halfway through the repeats, and of course you add several stitches every time, so it just keeps taking longer and longer to get it done, but it's nice and meditative, and I don't have to think too hard, and I've just really been enjoying working on it. It's what I did a lot of yesterday when I wasn't doing stuff around the house. I would sit down and just sit and watch RuPaul's Drag Race and work on this shawl, which has been really nice. So yeah, that's it for the whips that I'm currently like actively working on. Who knows how long all of them will take? I have no idea. But I did buy some things. I had been with the yarn crawl. I had really wanted to find a nice bag, project bag, and because I love project bags, and I just didn't find anything that like absolutely made me want to buy it. So I had been kind of checking Etsy every now and then for the different people that I usually buy from, and one seller, who is DNA Designs by Angie, was having a sale, so I looked at her stuff and I found 2 perfect bags. So it was great. It was good timing. So this is the first one. It's got unicorns on it. Unicorns romping through the forest, and then of course rainbow for the top. It's a flat bottom bag, and the fabric is relatively stiff, which is nice. And it's got a rope drawstring, nice and sturdy. And then one of my favorite things about her bags, if you've seen before the llama bag that I have, my mother-in-law got me for Christmas. It's how I got introduced to this maker. She puts pockets, it's a good way to say, inside her bags. So these are especially good for crochet because you can just, instead of having to have another bag inside your bag, you can just put stuff in the pockets. And I love this lining, little rainbow. So I really like this bag, and I just don't have anything big enough that I'm working on right now to to use it, but I'm sure I will. And then I found this awesome bag, which I love, love, love. Ta-da! So it's like a reusable shopping bag. It's square, right, or rectangular, I guess, and it has the, bottom and the foldy insides. And it's relatively stiff. I don't know if she puts interfacing in this. It doesn't feel like it, just that the fabric is kind of stiff. But then it has this fabric top that drawstrings up. So it's like you have a nice stiff bag to work with, but then it closes up with the drawstring. Like, how amazing is that? I absolutely love it. And of course, it also has pockets on the inside. So it's perfect. It's very big. This is definitely a sweater size or like a baby blanket size bag for either knitting or crochet. And I love it because it has little knitting sheep on it. And she had a couple colors. See, because it looks like knit, and then the sheepies are knitting. But I got this one because the fabric at the top was different, because this one has crochet hooks on it. Yay! So yarn, even like embroidery floss, scissors, knitting needles, crochet hook, scissors, all the things you need. So yeah, so I really love this. So I think the next baby blanket that I make, or a sweater for myself or something, it's gonna have to go in this bag because it's very nice. And they were very reasonably priced, especially because they were on sale. So it's perfect. Hi, Meatball. So yeah, so it's all good times. Lots of good stuff going on. That's everything that I have from my stuff. And so I will show you some of the gorgeous things that have been made for myself and the baby. So, Meatball, you're definitely going to be in the way for this. Thank you, sir. Let's He always picks the most random times to be affectionate, like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to sleep and he's rubbing his face all over me. But yeah, so a couple of things. First is a set from a good friend. So my husband Adam is in a band, and his bassist is also basically his best friend, and his wife crochets and knits. So she made some awesome stuff. So first I'll show you, this is just a little granny square blanket, and this is clearly a Caron cake. I don't remember what color this is called, but it's definitely a Caron cake, and it's just a nice little perfect self-stripey granny square blanket to keep baby nice and warm. This is really hard for me to do with you sitting on my lap, Meatball. And then she also made this really cute, Meatball, okay, you gotta go somewhere else. Go over here. Sweater. Look at how cute that is. Oh, she gave me the yarn tag, but I've left it in the box, so sorry. But if I remember correctly, it's dyed by someone that they know personally. So this is the sweater, and it's super cute. I love it so much. There's a cattail in my face. And a matching hat. So look at how cute that is. This is gonna be one well-dressed and very warm baby. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I'll talk a little bit more about the sweater in a second, because I also have a set which was made by my wonderful mother-in-law, who is an excellent knitter. And so first thing I'll show you is this amazing blanket that she made. Ta-da! Look at how cute this is. These colors are fantastic. She did ask me if I like the colors before she started knitting it, but of course I do. So look at how great this is. And I think it's a cotton blend. It definitely has cotton in it if it's not 100% cotton. I don't think it's 100% cotton. Anyway, it has cotton in it, so it's easy to wash and will be cool enough for baby during the summer. But look at how pretty this is. I love this ripple pattern. Absolutely fantastic. And then she also made a sweater, and I'm pretty sure she's working on several more blankets and sweaters, so there will be plenty. Again, a very warm and well-dressed baby. And this is her sweater. Look at how great that is. I love these colors. And it turns out, oh, and here's the matching hat. I wonder if this is like a seed stitch or a moss stitch or something. Something I don't know about knitting. But see, and look how the yarn matches the buttons. Like, it's so great. So there's the hat. But these two are the same pattern. So they ended up making the same pattern. It's called the Surprise Baby Sweater, and apparently it's called that because you basically knit a shape, but a flat shape, and then you magically seam it all together, and then surprise, you have a baby sweater. So this is a bigger size, and this is a smaller size, so he will have them for a while. He'll be able to fit into 2 different sweaters as he grows, but the same pattern. So yeah, and this is nice and squishy. I'm sure this is Madeline Tosh or Malabrigo or Hedgehog or something like that. Those are her favorite yarns to knit with. And it's absolutely beautiful. And the matching hat. So cute. So yeah, lots of great stuff for baby. One of my friends from work also crocheted something, but it's currently in the wash. So I'll have to show it to you later, but it's a really cute little star blanket thing. And those are gonna have to get put away so that the animals don't sit on them and cover them in animal hair. which isn't the worst thing, but they're going to go in the drawer. And the blankets are going to go in the blanket container. So yeah, lots of really awesome stuff. Baby update. I'm doing well. Baby's doing well. I'm 36 weeks today, so 4 more weeks until my due date, which is not that long from now, which is mildly terrifying because I'm nowhere near ready when it comes to setting up the space. But we're getting there. And I did, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen we were able to get a new car, which is really awesome because I was driving a Volkswagen Beetle before, which is a 2-door car with not a very large back seat and not a very big trunk. So it makes it difficult to transport a car seat and a stroller and a diaper bag and all the other various things that babies come with. So we traded that in and got a Hyundai Santa Fe, which I drove one when I was in college and absolutely loved it. And so that's been really exciting. And I was able to get one, because we got it used, with all the bells and whistles. So like the push to start and that's really the most exciting thing is the push start. But it has like Bluetooth. I've never had a car with Bluetooth in it before. So it's very exciting. And yeah, we're just basically in baby prep mode. I have this coming week at work is finals. And then the week after that we have graduation. So once graduation is over, a week from this coming Tuesday, I can be home more often and work from home, and we'll have more time and energy to get stuff done. Because part of the problem is that now I go to work and then I come home and then I'm too tired to do much of anything except sit on the couch and crochet. So not much has been able to get done, and my husband and I are never home at the same time, so because he's a musician, so he works at night. So it just makes it, hard for us to get too much organized. But once I'm able to work from home and then officially go on maternity leave, it'll be pretty quick, I think, because we live in a small place, so there's not too much to do. And now that I've gotten rid of all of that yarn, I have more space, and I can actually move things around and get it all set up for a baby. The most important thing we need that we don't have yet is a place for him to sleep. So that's the next step. We have a dresser and a stroller and a car seat and all the changing stuff and a diaper bag and all of that stuff, but we don't have anywhere for him to sleep. So that's the next important thing to do. So yeah, and I'm getting more tired. It feels a little bit like my first trimester where I was just exhausted all the time. Mostly because now I don't sleep nearly as well because it's just uncomfortable. / I have to get up to pee several times. And if I do wake up for any reason, it's hard for me to fall back asleep, which is apparently also a thing, like pregnancy insomnia. So the joys of motherhood. So yeah, today should be fun though, because it's my first Mother's Day. So in the US today is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all different types of mothers everywhere. And my husband has something planned. I don't know what it is yet. So it should be fun and exciting. Probably simple, because we're both going to be really tired by the time he gets home from work. But it'll be good times. So yeah, so I'm hoping that I can again do one more podcast in about 2 weeks. And then if I get really bored on maternity leave, then maybe I'll do some extra episodes or show you some things as they happen. And we will most likely post on Instagram when Alexander is born, and so you can see his cute little face, hopefully wearing the adorable hat that I made him to take him home from the hospital with. But yeah, that's where we are, and it's a little insane. It feels a little crazy, and unreal, but it's mostly just exciting. So yeah, good times. Yay! Thank you all so much for all of your comments and your support and the love of that I've been getting on YouTube. It's great to see your comments and to hear from you and to get your encouragement and all that kind of fun stuff. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I look forward to continuing with this podcast. Yeah. I'm not making any promises once baby shows up about how long It'll be before I make another episode, but keep an eye out. You'll see. So yeah, thank you. If you want to find me online, I am on Instagram as Tatted Tatter and on Ravelry as The Tatted Tatter. Or is that the other way around? One or the other. Tatted Tatter, plus or minus the. And you can, of course, comment on this video. Please do like and subscribe if you want to. And I was gonna say something. Man, this baby brain business is real. I was gonna say something. Oh, my email address. If you have a question about the podcast or anything related to it, you can send me an email at thetattedtatterca@gmail.com, and I will get your email and respond to it in a reasonable amount of time. But that's the best place to get in touch with me because I check my emails constantly because of work. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I will hopefully see you very soon, and I hope you have an excellent day. Bye.